So today I'd like to talk about what comes after the vision, right? So if you're a company owner or you work at a large company, then you have a digitalization strategy. You should have right now. But what happens is you pan out the vision, you draw your PowerPoint slides, you get consulting, you get everything you need to set the direction. What comes after that? What do you have to do? What's the next step? Like, sure, you need to implement something. You need to get something working to see if it really gets you any value. And I want to talk about exactly this because we, 3 years ago, we were at this stage. We had the vision, we had the technology and everything, but we decided on a very small use case and said, let's do this. Let's implement it and let's get experience. And that's what I just want to present to you. So our goal was reduce production time with machine learning on MindSphere. We have a little production line at our company. It's a modeling production line. It's a small thing, but it uses real technology. And we said, let's not touch automation. Let's do everything in the cloud and optimize that production line only with algorithms in the cloud. That was the scope. So just a small picture. This is our production line. It actually uses all the real technology, automation, PLCs, S7 1500, the biggest one, and also MindSphere connectivity. How this works, I will show you later. Let's say on this slide, you see the working of our modeling machine. It really resembles a real production. So it's a small implementation, but still you have little cups which get different colors of caps pressed onto the cups. And if you look at the station 1 and station 2, we built in a small bottleneck. We said that both stations can press white cups, but only one station can press a red cup and the other station can press a blue cup. So it really depends on the order of work pieces, how fast you can produce, right? And how to define that order? Machine learning. Small scope, go from A to Z, get experience. So this is our, let's say, goal. Order management as a scheduling problem. Define your problem precisely. So delays in production are cost inefficient. That's true for everything. And I know that not everyone optimizes the order of the work pieces right away. Sometimes they just come out of SAP and you dump it onto the production line, and that's inefficient. So you can really optimize that in the cloud with MindSphere. The goal, find an order sequence that minimizes production time. Pretty simple. You go to your data analytics guys with this goal and you say, how can we do that? Can you do this? And they come up with these different kind of smart algorithms, supervised learning, reinforcement learning, all these kind of categories you have in machine learning. And you need to shoot at the problem with all those things. So you need a really fast development company which can shoot these kind of things at your problem. You have certain constraints you always have. It's a physical thing, so it's not just IT. The distribution of colorful products is fixed. This comes from the order. The machine specification is fixed. You have a fixed machine, you have certain lab times, you need to measure them. Those are the constraints. You can't not touch them. We didn't want to touch automation or production line at all. Only optimize what is there. So how would you represent that? Everyone is talking about a digital twin, but digital twin is really a lot of things to a lot of people, right? So for this specific problem, it's not more than a, let's say, a graph with nodes and edges. It's not more. We want to optimize this. What you really need is to find out how long it takes for a work piece to go from one station to the other. That exact timing we found out just by iterating and implementing it practically. We saw that the efficiency of our optimization is very much dependent on the timing of the edges. So we implemented a learning algorithm where we run the production line like 100 times and we found out the exact timing of the edges, which optimizes our algorithm. Then, of course, you need the architecture. We did it, of course, with MindSphere. We had a layered architecture which had a processor, a learner, a controller, and a UI, of course. And the processor learns the edge timings. The learner learns how to apply these edge timings, and the controller finally controls the production line. And of course, you need the feedback loop. That's what we implemented too. So you get an order list, it goes to the cloud, It has a model of the production line. We do 1,000 of simulations in parallel and then come up with the most optimum solution and push it back to the production line for each list. And we don't touch the production line, not the automation, not the physical hardware, just the sequence of the work pieces, which gives you already a gain. So this is how the order list looks like. You create a new order. You put some work pieces on this. This is in reality, it of course comes from your SAP system. And this is as customer would order it. But this is the input to our cloud-based solution. The cloud-based solution then takes the order list, puts it into the model, has the exact timing, and runs simulation 1,000 times, and runs in milliseconds. So it's like you're trying different orders 1,000 times and find the optimal order just for that list. And that list comes out in seconds to your production line. And the gain was apparent immediately. So when I say the gain was apparent immediately, of course, it took us like 6 months to find the right algorithm, the right approach, the right learning, data cleansing. That's all the things we learned. So on the left side, you see the unoptimized production line, and on the right side, you see the optimized one. What you see here is that the left one just emits work pieces onto a conveyor belt one by one, without thinking too much. Just go on it. A lot of work pieces pass the stations actually because they're occupied. So the timing and the sequence was not right. On the right hand side you see that the cups only get emitted to the conveyor belt if it's the right time, if the station is free, and also in the right sequence. So this small, very small optimization without actually touching the physical asset gave you an increase of 30%. That's of course the best case because we compare it to the completely unoptimized case. But oftentimes in reality you have a completely unoptimized case because it would be too much work to develop something on site, to have, I don't know, to have systems that do this in a local infrastructure. So once you have the cloud, you can say, okay, let's try this and do it 1,000 times and shoot with different machine learning algorithms onto the problem. And that's what we did, and we were really well happy with the result. 31% is a lot. And this algorithm we will now apply to a real production line in Berlin and see how much gain we can get from that. So what I wanted to say in this presentation is everyone is on a high level doing visions, digitalization, benefits, consulting, ideation workshops. But at one point in time, you really need to do something. You need to implement something because there's a lot to be learned also in implementation. How should your team look like? Is it data scientists, OT guys, IT guys, cloud tech guys? You don't know. You need to find out. So get a goal which is like really the scope is small. It's a minimum viable product and get it out to production. And this is what we gained from this. The experience is we really need a cross-cutting team from automation guys to data analysts. We gained knowledge about the timings. We couldn't tell that beforehand. We did it by experimentation. And this is all a practical way of learning. So if you're at a stage that you're saying, okay, now we have everything mapped out, get a consulting partner or build up a team yourself and implement a really small example. You will gain a lot and it will shape your vision for the future. Thank you very much. Any questions? Visit our booth, please. We can show you a range of other solutions in that area and we can talk a little about the future of your company. So, thank you very much.